And this is in North Minneapolis. They rented a warehouse, and they built inside of the warehouse, they built 100 tiny houses.
Hello, and welcome to Kept in Her Heart, where we talk about all things faith-related. I'm your host, Jenny Fuchs. Today, Dan is here to share with us his experience with Avivo, a social services nonprofit out of Minneapolis that offer many benefits to those in need. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you.
Can you tell us what kind of services does Avivo offer?
Sure. Their primary mission is around chemical and mental health services and helping people through those addiction and mental health struggles. And then secondly, employment services, where they provide a whole vast amount of training programs, and then job search assistance. And then thirdly is ending homelessness. They have a significant footprint in the Twin Cities around homelessness.
That's amazing. That sounds like a great work. So how are you associated with Avivo?
I serve on their board. I think I've served on their board now for almost 10 years, and currently chair the board. And I got involved years ago because their CEO was a friend of mine, or our kids kind of grew up together. And I had asked her to be on a different board that I was on, and she said, sure, if you would be willing to join our board. So we both kind of said yes to that, and I've been there since.
That's awesome. Yeah. So tell me about some of the fruit you've seen out of people getting services with Avivo.
Sure. Well, they serve about 10,000 people a year, so it's just so big. They're a $40 million nonprofit. They remind me a lot of like what we see in Catholic Charities, that kind of work. Mm-hmm. But they're a secular organization doing God's work. And I think the biggest thing that I see, probably just because of my own story and my own journey through addiction and recovery, I think that's the one that I see the most connection to. They hold both, let's see, I think it's outpatient services where people come to treatment program and try to get sober, but they don't do it single-handedly. They do that. They might be doing that as a homeless individual. So Avivo provides housing for those that are in their programs.
Okay, wonderful. So, what have you seen? Have you seen any particular people that have touched your heart that have kind of worked through the program there?
Yeah, part of our board meetings are, we do something called mission moments, where because they're such a large, complicated organization, us board members really kind of need constant reminders of what they do. And so they have these mission moments at each meeting, and they'll invite somebody in, and maybe it's somebody who had been through their program, maybe it'll be somebody that works for Avivo that is in direct contact with the clients. And I think one of the big things that we've done at Avivo in the last couple of years is something called Avivo Village. And this is in North Minneapolis. They rented a warehouse, and they built inside of the warehouse, they built 100 tiny houses. And they're basically like 10 by 10 cubicles with a roof, with a bed, with a desk. And each client that stays there kind of has their own place outside of the elements. And it's become extremely popular. The city of Minneapolis, the Hennepin County, Dakota County, everybody wants us to start Avivo Village 2 or Avivo Village 3, and it's extremely expensive and difficult to manage and run, but we hope that we can launch a second one. Because out of that Avivo Village, I think we've housed over 60 people on a permanent basis. So not only did we give them a place to stay, but we helped them get back on their feet and provide what's called this continuum of care, where they can get out and take care of themselves. So it's really good stories. There's also been and I don't remember the numbers exactly, but stories of Avivo Village. People come there and they may come in drunk. There's no requirements for them to be clean and sober to stay there. If there was, nobody would come. They would stay on the street. And so as part of that, they have had to reverse overdoses on many, many occasions, saving countless lives. Unfortunately, I think we've had 3 deaths since the place has opened. But we've probably saved hundreds of people's lives in the time that they've been there. So they just do great work at that Vivo Village.
Sure. And so what kind of things would someone who is staying there expect? What kind of environment is it then?
Safety is kind of their top priority. Privacy, that dignity that comes with privacy and having our own space, our own home. Right. They get to have that feeling or that experience, even though it's a small little 10 by 10. Clean shower. With that population, there's a lot of risk. There's a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of mental health issues. And so it really takes a significant commitment from staff to be willing to kind of monitor that 24/7. We have people on staff that take care of that to make sure everybody's safe, secure, and dignified.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so what, if people want to get involved in Avivo and help support their mission, how would they do that?
So many opportunities. There's a lot of volunteer opportunity because they're so big. They rely on a lot of volunteer services, and that includes backpack programs for the starting up of school here coming soon. In the holiday seasons, they do gift baskets. So there's a lot of opportunities. There's cleanup. So they can get online and look up under the volunteer. They can see what's available. We always need financial support. The biggest struggle with nonprofits in the Twin Cities right now, probably in every urban area, is funding. Mm-hmm. And most of Avivo's funding comes from governmental funding. Okay. And that spigot is drying up, and so they struggle financially, and it's hard to provide the care for this population when we don't have the funding, and it's hard to keep the people when we can't pay them a fair wage. So always needing financial help, always needing volunteers. They can get online. avivomn.org is the website, and of course they could call there and I could get them in contact with the right people.
Awesome. Yeah. And if they know people that are on the street who need their services, maybe they don't have a phone or whatever, how do they find Avivo to get help? Yeah, so their headquarters is located at 1900 Chicago Avenue in South Minneapolis. And every morning there is a line outside the door of people that are wanting to get into chemical health or treatment. So you can go sit on their doorstep every morning, Monday through Friday. They open the doors at 8 o'clock and they take as many as they can get in. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing about their services. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for talking about it.
Well, thank you guys. If you want to learn more about Avivo, like Dan said, you can check out their website. We'll put a link in the description. If you want to learn more about nonprofits like Avivo and other organizations, make sure to like and subscribe and comment about how you've seen organizations helping others. Thanks for watching.